What is up, Colts fans? We are live with another edition of Into the DB Film Room. I'm Zach. That is my boy Hag, and
What's up?
we are a tad late today. And I will
Just a
put
little bit.
all the blame on Hag here. It was completely on Hag, not me. No, but no, we're glad to be back here, guys. Breaking down another game where the Colts DBs went up against a top offense, and I think for the most part played pretty well, and hopefully we can get you to get as angry as I was on game day about a couple of these pass interference calls. But I think for the most part they played pretty well. I mean, just going through the stats, they held Godwin and Mike Evans to, I think, 40 yards receiving in this
Yeah, I
game.
mean, we were praying. We were praying
Yeah.
last week. We were like sitting out there, like praying for like just something to save them, and it looks like they did a good job.
Yeah, no, they did a pretty solid job, and it's tough because Tom Brady is Tom Brady, and he's going to continually attack you, and it feels like I'm not here just to praise Tom Brady because he's not the reason why the Colts lost, but
Yeah,
he's a guy who I think somehow as he's gotten older, his deep ball and his throw power and all that stuff has just been so much better
you
than
don't
what it
know.
was.
You don't know.
What,
It's
the
the
steroids?
TB12 method, baby. What are you talking about? Did you
Yeah,
not
that's
read
true.
the book?
That's true.
You not read the book? It's all about pliability, bro. Like keeping the muscles loose, man.
His book is right after the Alex Jones book on my snake oil salesman ones. Matt, we do appreciate you hanging in there.
Yeah.
The reels were a little late as Hag's got some recruiting stuff that he was dealing with
Oh
a
yeah.
parent and all that. So
Yeah, man.
we know our boy Matt's going to be here though every time.
Always. We appreciate you.
But yeah, TB12. My dad was trying to sell me on that the other day, like kind of jokingly, but also kind of like, oh, he's a businessman, dude. Please,
Yeah.
don't. I'm not going to pay for $100 vitamin water to.
No, look, he's out over there like you add your Himalayan salt to your water with your my electrolyte thing. I'm like, bro, like I like that. Every morning you're drinking a coconut, a coconut oil milkshake smoothie thing. Like, okay, like go for it. And I'm all in the health and wellness and stuff like that. Like, trust me, but like some of the stuff is just OD. Like I can't do it. But hey, he's killing it, and the deep ball is still great, and the velocity is still there. Which I felt like it was a period where it kind of was dying down, and he pops up.
Yeah, it helps having the receivers that they have. But
yeah,
we knew going in this was going to be a tough matchup, and Rock Ya-Sin stepped up for the most part. Again, we'll talk about one call that I completely disagree with, but we'll talk about that. Isaiah Rodgers had an interception, which we're going to talk about, which was great. Xavier Rhodes wasn't beat. The corners did their job. The Colts lost this game ultimately because the Bucs run game, kind of some of the middle of the field stuff, which we've seen all year with the Colts defense. And then the turnovers, obviously on offense, the Colts had 5 turnovers. But let's get into some of these clips here, guys, and talk about what the Colts did right, what they did wrong. Mostly what they did right, actually, though. I'm really impressed, honestly, when I was going back to the film. I think they did a pretty good job. First clip here, we got Xavier Rhodes. He's going to be on Gronkowski on an over route, and Rhodes does a nice job kind of undercutting this through traffic, knocking it away.
Yep. Yeah, he took a gamble there and undercut it, but he was really urgent on the play. He saw it the whole time. He's still long, that hasn't went away, and that's why it is a valuable trait to be able to go in and break that up. I know he wished he would have got the pick there, but good play.
That is an aggressive ass angle that he took here, though.
That's hey, if they're not getting a little bit of pressure right there, he probably pops it right over him. But a lot of times when you undercut a route, you kind of know at that point you're just playing receiver. You're banking on that quarterback to be already committing. It was like he was all eyes, so he saw the ball coming out. He saw the pressure getting home. It was aggressive.
It was. I'm actually, obviously, again, safeties don't cover tight ends as much as we would like to say they do, like on scouting reports and stuff, saying, oh, this guy can be a tight end eraser. But I think this is another thing where it's like when we see him against these speedy receivers, we see some of the issues, we see some of the struggles he has. But here, obviously it's a different animal. It's running with Gronk, but
yeah,
he seems a lot more comfortable.
He's not worried.
Yeah,
he's not worried about somebody, and no matter who it is, like going across to the other side of the field. If a guy runs a 4.7, it's gonna be it's not fun. You know, I'm covering a lot of ground. If I undercut it wrong, quarterback plops it up. You're just covering a ton of ground right there. It's not fun, but he does look comfortable. And corners cover receivers. Whether, you know, Gronk becomes the one receiver to that side, that's who Rhodes has. That's why the safety isn't, you know, covering him. The safety's got the number 2 guy, which is the fullback, the tight end, the most to the backfield. You know, it's simple stuff, but you know, corners cover who they cover.
Yeah. Really like this rep from him, and it's probably the most confident rep we've seen in a while from Xavier Rhodes. We haven't seen a ton of confidence in his game, but I like this. I like this aggressive undercut. I'd rather you be more aggressive with it, with what we've seen with him. So I very much enjoyed it, and this is, I think, the first drive of the game too. So it's good that he kind of started off with a bang.
Yeah, and I think he's more comfortable like anything but going vertical.
Yeah,
I think he's the most comfortable. We've seen him come down and break on hitches and stuff like that. He is way more comfortable, and slower guys tend to be, because you know everything else is a lot more instinct and a lot more reaction, and that, you know, that doesn't really go away, for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good start there by Xavier Rhodes, and now we're gonna both get our heart broken here with Rock Ya-Sin on the outside. This is one where, you know, we've seen a couple drop picks this year where it's like, okay, you got to have it. But this one, like, there's no excuse. You got to come down with this one. It's brutal. I think the Colts drop into, I want to say, cover 3 or maybe quarters here. Cover three. And he peels off and he baited it well. Like I really love everything about this rep. He just got to finish, like, because he sits on the post. Perfect. Yeah, sits on the post, but he has great eyes knowing that wheel's coming.
Well, he delivers them to the safety, jumps it. That's highlight, like when you're done playing, they play that clip. Type interception. It's like, boom, they're running a scissor route right here. Boom, 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 snap. Yeah, that's money. And it looked pretty too. You know, that's one of them Isaiah Rogers dives for the pick. And but yeah, he got to have that, man. Yeah, look at the stance though.
So it's like watch, so confident. I love it.
Him come out. He's low. He's like a freaking cat right here. Boom, he's messing with him. He's outside. He's showing zone. Boom, settle in his place. Low. Shoulder. Boom, snap around. That's perfect. Yeah, I love that. I love that, man.
Oh, just gotta finish the play. You gotta finish it.
Can't drop the money, man. Can't drop the money.
No. Did you ever have one that was this bad that you dropped like this bad?
Oh yeah. So
that's why you're playing defense, right?
Yeah, but see, I have great hands. Like I have my hands are big, like they're great. I pride myself on having like great hands. Tennessee Tech, we're playing Tennessee Tech my senior year. We got great pressure. The quarterback lobs the ball up, and it looks like I'm playing in the outfield, and it's just a high looper. I'm like, oh, I'm getting pick sixes in like 2 of my last 3 games. This is like 80 yards. It's nothing there but grass in the quarterback. And when I tell you, it came right in. For some reason, I didn't go with my hands. I was like, I secured it. I was like, okay, let me catch with my body. Horrible decision. And I take off, and that ball never even got close to being secure. And I was like 10 yards downfield. And when I tell you I'm punching the ground, and I'm just like, what am I doing? And I didn't get to make All-American my senior year. If I would have got that one, I would have. I know for a fact I would have.
Yeah, I think you have like, what, 3, 4, maybe 5 picks?
I had, so in college, I don't count JUCO, but if I counted JUCO, it'd be 13. But that last year JSU, I had 2. I returned. I had a forced fumble or 2 my junior year. Okay. I was always around the football, but I had a pick six, 50, 60-yard pick six.
I've never seen that one.
And yeah, I was second on the team in every category. So I led the team in tackles, but I was second on the team in tackles for loss, pass breakups, everything. And you know, I pride myself in my hands, but I had that one still gives me nightmares. I still think about that one. I can't because it was easy. Like it was just too. Yeah. It was like it's too easy.
Yeah, it's like this one here though, man. It's just one where it's like, I mean, it's just perfect rep, start to finish.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like I love his level. Like if you watch his pad level and then watch his shoulders, boom, snap.
Yeah, that is great.
You want to take your shoulders to where you're breaking to, right? A lot of guys will swing that shoulder open and it'll throw them off. But if you stay low and you tuck your chin, shoulder, whatever, and you take that to the target, to the receiver, it keeps you on balance, and you tend to break well, and that's exactly what happened there. And he dropped the money, man. He dropped the money.
He did. But again, we don't want to overlook a great play by saying, the awful result. Great play, great process. Just got to finish it. And he knows it. He's looking at the film. Everyone's dogging him probably in the film room. Like,
you're waiting for it. You're sitting back there, and they're going back through, and and then it's like, hey, what happened? You watch Coach 30 on TikTok and stuff like that. You see him pop up. Moment's too big for you. Piss down your leg.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, that's what it was. I mean, I remember I didn't play much in high school, but that's a lot of what the film sessions were in high school.
Yeah, it's like that, man.
Yeah. So our run stop of the week is we haven't had any in a while. I wanted to add at least one tackle. We don't have any run stops, but this one's kind of close here from Xavier Rhodes versus Leonard Fournette. I just wanted to add this because it's a nice physical play. I mean, that is a big dude he's bringing down.
Fournette's a tank.
Absolute tank. We saw it. He ran for like 120 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like he ran all over
Fournette. I don't think Fournette has been under 230 since his senior year of high school.
Yeah.
And the kid consistently hits 21, 22 or 21 miles per hour every time. Like the next gen stats pop up. Fournette's always one of the fastest one at LSU. There was a moment for a year or two where he was the fastest player on their team. You're not supposed to be that bad. I know he ran like a 4.51, but that doesn't do him justice. Once that thing gets rolling, like here, like you don't want that in front of any corner. But Xavier Rhodes is tough, good stop. Way to get him down, man.
Yeah, and it's kind of like we see Fournette here, and we saw a lot with Kenny early in the season. We did a lot of these. Fournette's going to go to the stiff arm right there. Kenny would smack the arm down and try to get the guy off balance. Rhodes is a big dude who's done this a long time. Yeah, he's going to get on him and just get inside and pull him down. Like, I'm not saying this is the greatest technique ever, but, I mean, he's a powerful corner to be able to do this.
He used his strength. He used his strength. Like, here, he was square, boom, hit him with his chest. It's not always the worst thing. A lot of times you don't get the choice. But he has a death grip on Fournette. He wraps around
right there.
Yeah, you see, like the Josh Normans of the world, the little guys, they get through off. But Xavier Rhodes is no little cat. He pulled him down with him. So I like that play.
Yep. I thought it was a really good rep from Xavier Rhodes. And I don't think I have any negative ones for him in this game. So I think he had a really solid game. Here's the highlight of the day. We got Isaiah Rodgers here getting the pick.
Flourishing, man.
Yep, he's our boy, man. He's doing great. So we got him here, and I actually added a couple seconds before here because if you look at Kenny's yelling back to him, and Isaiah talked about this play after the game. Yeah, he told him with this formation here, they both knew what the play was going to be. They knew it was going to be Scotty Miller here, one of the faster receivers in the league, really fast guy, was going to come up on the wheel and go vertical.
Yeah,
they knew it, and they knew that was Isaiah Rodgers. That's what Kenny's telling him. He's like, be ready, basically. And Rodgers said he knew that it was coming, sat off it, ran with it, and then just became the receiver.
Speed on speed. Look, that's so impressive. So he looked like an outfielder just then. So he turns and runs one way. Boom, we're good. He sees it all the way, matches the receiver, perfect. Miller, tries to get back inside. Now watch right here. He transitions, keeps his balance, and tracks the ball. He literally played receiver that entire rep. There was no cornerback play involved in that. He was all receiver. Once about 5 yards after 5 yards, Miller got down the field. Rodgers turned it to a receiver, and that's smooth. That's butter right there.
It is. He's getting so much better each and every week, and we actually have seen his snaps quite a bit against the Bills. I think he had 50% of the snaps. I think this past week he was a little bit around that too. Maybe a little higher. So he's officially like a rotated starting corner right now.
Well, we talked about that. He needs reps. It was probably a month ago. Like, if you want to play Rock and Isaiah, that's if you want to match up with teams, that's going to be the duo to go with. And in order for him to develop, he needs reps. We talked about player development, and guys just getting the opportunity. Now, what you do with that opportunity is on you. And clearly, he's thriving right now. Was that pick 3 on the year?
Pick 2, but he dropped that one against Buffalo.
He dropped it, but neither one of them were like easy picks.
No,
that's the crazy thing. He's like he's kind of showing off how good of an athlete he is on all of his interceptions or almost interceptions. So he's a fun corner to watch.
He is, man. I'm excited to see where this goes because he's already much further along than what I thought he would be. And I'm talking as someone who talked to him in the offseason, talks to his agent a couple times a week, who talked, I was super high on this guy. But this is much better than I thought we'd ever even see overall.
Yeah, no, he's balling. He's balling. Like, he's one of them situations, kind of like Snead a little bit for Kansas City. Really, really good athlete. You found him later in the draft. You don't expect much from him aside from maybe a special teams role because the speed and all that stuff is there. The kid's developing at a fast rate, and that's why you take these guys, because it's better for me to take traits, right? Then I may not have been necessarily super high graded wise compared to other top corners, because them traits will keep him in the room and he can develop.
Yep. And my favorite quote, I think he said after the game, was he knew that this matchup was coming, obviously, from Kenny telling him. And, Scotty Miller, again, his speed is real, legit.
It's legit.
Miller is a freak. But my favorite thing was Isaiah Rodgers was like, I trusted my speed. I knew he wasn't going to go over top of me. And that's what made it easier for him to, be able to turn into the receiver down the field. And that's something, again, when we watched a lot of these clips early in the year, and why I love doing this series, he wasn't like, there were some plays where he didn't trust his speed as much.
Yeah.
Now
I remember that.
Now he's trusting it against a top, a top deep threat guy in the league. And it's just
there's
awesome
not too many guys. Yeah, there's not too many guys that'll say that. I know he's not gonna get on top of me. Scotty Miller can roll, man.
Yeah, even when you have off man, like Scotty Miller can go. I mean, we're gonna see with Rock. Well, Rock might have been impressed, but we'll see a little bit earlier. He gets past Rock a little bit. He can roll, and this is just a great play.
Boom, good feet, transition stick. Don't panic.
Love it.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Yeah.
Got
the two safety circle. Now this one, I'm not even specifically blaming them, but the Colts all day got eaten up over the middle by Rob Gronkowski, which I told my parents and I told my brother before the game, because I watched it over there. I was like, Gronk's going to go off for like 130 yards in this game. I know it's happening. It's going to be all over the middle of the field. So I want you to watch this here and see what the defense could have done better to prevent Gronk over the seam here. Okay, so Gronk's right here. He's just going to go up the seam against the cover two.
Safety looks like he kind of overcommitted there. Who's that, Sendeo? I know the corner's got corner's gonna bump him out. I feel like he probably shouldn't have let him release outside initially. I'm starting all the way down here with Rock and working my way up. If they are in cover two, I don't know what version that they may be playing, but obviously our backers there, he has to get more depth. Safety kind of over rotated to the outside, but that's because he got an outside release. From those three, that triangle right there, that's where the problem happened. Is that Leonard right there?
Which one right here?
Ankle with
Leonard?
the ankle tape. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is that's Leonard right there. Yep.
So I think he has to get a little bit more depth. He's dropping, but just he made the throw hard. He got it elevated. Gronk's a huge target. Sendejo had to choose right there because he got an outside release. And then let me see the backside corner. Safety.
Backside safety, Odom right there.
Yeah.
I think they have a vertical coming up this way, so he's
So great play call for the coverage that they saw. So obviously some good game planning. Brady probably recognized it right away. I remember I saw the clip of him telling Fournette cover two right as he was going for the play action. It was an old clip, right?
I think so.
He goes cover two. But he's seeing it pre-snap because obviously he's been in it longer than I've been alive, but literally, but yeah, he sees that there's money. There's really not a whole lot they could do aside from make their receiver release inside, maybe give Sendejo a little bit more time and make that throw a little bit tighter.
Yeah, part of me's thinking because Rodgers kind of gets a little bit. No, I don't know. He's probably in cover two drop there. I don't want to, because if it's cover three, he would come a little bit more to the middle here.
Yeah, unless they're playing two to this side.
Yeah,
and they're switching it up. But yeah, there's some things. Yeah, there's some things they could have did better, but I think they were beat more so by the play call than what they did job wise, because the guys are matched up. Obviously instincts help. Having an instinctual guy probably tries to make Brady force that ball that on the wheel route down here at the bottom, or they go ball on the bottom. And you see what happens, because you can't give up the middle of the field. But like we said last week, we said if I'm a team playing the Colts, I'm throwing to the middle of the field all day long.
Yeah, and that's always a big thing with me when it comes to zone. You know, people always go against the cover 2 zone, and people hate it, and I kind of get it. I get my own complaints with the cover 2 zone. I'm not a huge fan of it overall with the scheme and that being kind of your base, but we just see this every single week where that middle of the field tight ends on seams and deep dig routes are just always open. Like, what can a defense do in this cover 2 scheme to kind of mitigate that? You know, is it linebackers getting better depth? Is it a safety that's more instinctual and faster, maybe? Like, what do you think is something that they can do?
So zone, you're giving up something. And you're kind of, you're trying to make windows smaller, and you're trying to make the throws tougher. They didn't do a good job of that either one right here. Obviously, I think, the backer can do a better job. I think his eyes probably got caught on the running back a little bit. I would say linebackers help out the safeties a lot, especially the ones who don't have elite athleticism. Obviously, the better athletes make that throw a lot tougher if you have 2 really elite ones on the same field at the same time. But I would say the backer needs to help him out just a little bit more. I know he dropped, and he dropped okay, and he almost got it. But if he keeps dropping, you can never get too deep. I say that, but you know what I mean? Make them elevate that throw, make it really, really tough. That's what I would say. But the play call here kind of puts them in a bad situation. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted you to break down one of those, because we saw a couple of those in this game, and people always ask about it, so I definitely wanted to get one of those breakdowns. But here we got Rocky Sin, bottom of the screen, versus Scotty Miller. I think he's going to be on an island here. I want to say this is going to be man. Yeah, this is man. Basically on an island down the field.
Okay. He got flagged for that?
He got flagged for that.
Yeah, he did a good job. Initially, initially, he did. He was fine, and Miller can roll. For him to be squeezed out of bounds that tight and work his way back inside, that's where the stress came from. This isn't. I feel like what we have been seeing. This is one of the situations where a guy's just flat out faster than your guy, and it's like I kind of, I'm freaking out right now, because that's where the ball probably should have came out. But he lets that ball fly. Obviously smart. Lets the ball fly. Lets his fast guy go get it. And you have, you're going to initiate the flag right there. Because he's doing a good job. He's squeezing the hell out of him right there. And something happened with both their hands. They're letting him play. But when that guy hits the ground and he gets, when you interfere with him going to get the ball, they're going to chuck it.
Yeah. They zoomed in on this. And unfortunately, I can't show the zoom in from the broadcast because we would get copyright hit here on YouTube. But it basically was Rock had his hand on Miller's hip, and then Miller was basically pushing off with his arm.
And that's what it kind of, I see Miller's hand extended right there. It looks like Rock was doing a good job. And then something had, like I said, I couldn't see right there. Obviously, you just said you zoomed in.
Right there is where it is. Where Miller's pushing on the shoulder, Rock has his hand on the back hip. It's tough. They're both. I mean, it's really just hand fighting. It's
that's a call 10 years ago doesn't get called.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's
like
tough.
and it's so I hate that it's so subjective by the refs. You know what I mean? Because like it's on them. Like I've seen calls in games where they don't throw that because they're like, okay, receiver, you were pushing, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's an offensive driven league. It's Tom Brady. He's not gonna make a bad throw. And they're gonna give him that flag, man.
Yeah, I hate rewarding offense for. I don't want to say it's a bad offensive play, but I hate rewarding the offense on a play like this where it's like it's not like Rock's impeding this catch. I mean, he's in position. They're both even. They're both hand fighting. Like
he's not catching that ball.
Yeah, he's not catching it. And even if he is able to go up and get it, Rock's in a good position to knock it away once he touches the ball. Like it's hand fighting. Both guys are in good position. I hate that call so much. I really do.
The fact that he's looking up the whole time covering
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't get a flag then, should tell you everything about the play. I feel like there should be two different types of pass interferences. I feel like there should be unintentional, where like plays like this happen and you throw a flag, it's 15 yards, and then you got intentional. Those should be spot.
Yeah.
If
And
if it's blatant, that should be the spot foul.
yeah, the worst part about this is the sell job by the receiver too. Just right here.
Oh, the flop. Yeah.
Throw the hands right there and start yelling at the ref, and that's how you're going to get that call every time.
Yeah.
Like,
and you got to sell it, man. You have to sell it because he was how had his hands up before. But that's the thing. It's a two-way. It's a two-way street. Receivers cry about holding, but they literally push off.
Yeah.
Every single play, you push, I hold. Like it's that simple.
Yep, it's brutal. I was livid about that one live. Because like you said, I saw on broadcast that he pinched him. He was in good position. There was hand fighting, and again, if this was a 15-yard penalty, sure, I could be okay with it, I guess. But this being a spot foul all the way down to
a 50-yard flag.
Yeah, for something where again the guys are hand fighting, he's in good position. It's tough, man. That's so tough.
Yeah,
and I heard there was people coming to me about it, like not many, but saying like, "Oh, same old Rock there." This is not same old Rock with this one. He didn't panic at all. There was no panic here. Like
he's covering his ass off right here.
If he panicked at all, it's right here because he probably thought that he had already won the rep. I mean, he got Miller basically to the sideline, so he did kind of stop his feet for half a second right here because he thought that he thought this ball was coming to Gronk, and because right here, which quarterback throws this?
Nobody. No, you don't. He's covered.
Yeah.
He's covered.
So if there was any panic, it was that. But he didn't even pull him down. He didn't. I hate it. I hate it.
That's not one. People, they need to relax. Like Rock is playing like a different corner. That's a good rep. But it happens. It's a part of the game.
Yeah, and then we got another penalty here in the red zone, and I want your take on this one here. We got TJ Carey versus Cameron Brate.
Okay.
And they called this for pass interference on third down and basically gave them a touchdown.
Yeah, he pulled coming at the break. You have to know when to let go. That's the difference between the good ones and the average ones. When he comes out of that break, you have to let him go. At some point, you can't put hands on them, and they're not always. Everybody does it, but right there, you got to let them go, and then you have to defend something.
Yeah.
When that receiver hits the ground and you're right on his hip, that's automatic every time.
Yeah, and it's just tough again, like you said here, because Brate, if you watch him with his left arm, he's pushing off the whole time. He's trying to drive him back. It's tough.
Yeah, no, that's a weird one just because it goes both ways. But it's one of the things where you have to know I gotta let go and cover now. And they're not going to give you no calls at DB. They're just not. That's why it is, the second, hardest position I think in football to play because you're covering backwards. The rules definitely benefit the offense more. It's bias. There's double standards. And you have to be really, really, really freaking good to not go out there and get flags. Not just cover, but if you get an elite corner that has like one or no flags on the year, he's good. He's legit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And the last one here we got, and I just want that flag was so late too. Look at this. He's calling for it and then
it flies in. Yeah.
Flies in. I hate it. I hate it so much. Man, as a DB fan, I hate it. I just hate watching it so much. But this last clip here, we've got the Colts in the 2-minute situation. They're kind of playing a little bit of a shell here when the Bucs are going down for the go-ahead score that ended up winning the game for them. But I kind of want to highlight this because I don't know. Even though this is a catch allowed, Isaiah Rogers clicking close is just so it's so quick. It's so quick. And I mean, it might be one extra step in there too. And he's still, I want to see if
that ball was coming out anyway.
Yeah.
That's one of the things where he reacts perfect. He's low. He's shooting out of that thing like a cannon. 1-2. It really wasn't a horrible break at all. No. It was a great one. It was fast. It was reactive. He shot out of it. That ball was coming out. That's one of them ones where if he jumps at and picks it,
ball's coming right there. Yeah, the ball's coming out right. Like that's tough. But
you got to speed out. You got to speed out. The guy basically went out of bounds or got stopped where he caught it. That's good coverage. I take that. I was we were watching the state championship games the other night, and my guy was playing corner, and my girl's dad was like, hey, your boy got caught on. I was like, he was playing off. I was like, he gave up a 5-yard hitch. I was like, what are we talking about? I was like, he was 7 yards off. I was like, he literally missed it with his hand. I was like, you can't do nothing about it. I was like, sometimes you just got to get there and get the stop.
Yep. And I just, even though this was a catch here, this click and close is so impressive. This is what I saw last year watching a couple of his clips. Like, he only played like 70 snaps, but
there's 2 yards of separation when that ball comes out. And by the time it gets there, like
he's nearly able to knock it out. Like, he's quick. He's so quick. That is a quick, because he's still kind of backpedaling, right? Like right here, transition.
That's all reaction. That's footwork and pop. Yeah, man. That's and great ball placement, by the way.
Yeah, it's Brady.
Yeah, that's not if he doesn't put that ball, like we talked about it with was it Tannehill?
Yeah, Tannehill had a couple.
Some of them balls, like, man, if you throw them balls a half yard under, they're broken up with their picks.
Yeah. So I'm really impressed by him. He also had I don't know if you saw it late in the game, but Colts were down by 7 with 20 seconds left. They told him, go out there and return it no matter where it's kicked to. And he got it on the back goal line and almost returned it for a score to tie it with 20 seconds.
Put your best athlete back there, man, and let him rock out.
Yeah, well, he's their typical returner, but they typically have him stand his feet on the goal line. And
who do you think are better, him or Hines? Who do you think would be
better return guy? I mean, it's probably Rodgers, honestly.
Yeah. He's a freak, though. I mean,
he's a freak. like Hines has that speed where, like, you think a DB has an angle on him and then it's gone, but Rodgers seems like he hits it to another level.
Well, Scotty's a legit track guy, and he said, "Yeah, I know he's not going to get behind me."
Yeah, no, and like
Who
he was
says that?
like it wasn't like he was like 10 yards off. He was like 6-7 yards off, and Rodgers was not threatened whatsoever by that.
No, he's comfortable. He's cool under pressure.
Yeah, he's really impressive. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty strong game from these Colts DBs. Again, couple interference calls, couple, that are just tough. They're tough. But again, against Tom Brady, allowing I think 100. I think it was like only like 190 or maybe 200 yards passing.
Bro, that's a huge win.
Yeah.
We've seen the Patriots straight up light up people this year. That's a huge win. Especially from what we saw early in the year, this group has come so far. And you're talking about one of the better receiving corps in the NFL. You got Brady, one of the best offenses in general, and then you see them hold them when they couldn't hold water early in the year at times. So
yeah, I'll tell you, the riskiest articles I ever wrote were right before the Bills game. I wrote like a story piece on Xavier Rhodes, and then I wrote like a highlight piece on Rock Ya-Sin. And I was like, man, they got the Bills and then the Bucs for afterwards.
Oh, yeah, you're asking for it.
I was asking for it. But I think combined in the 2 games, I think they allowed, I want to say, 5 catches on like 11 targets or 12 targets.
Aside from the Seahawks and probably the Rams, how much did Cup go for? Like what top receiver just lit them up? It's been like second, third tier, fourth guys on the team that
every tight end.
Doing the damage. So if you run across the middle of the field, you're gonna get yards against the Colts.
But no, these Colts corners are playing well. I think Odom's flashed a little bit at DB. We're gonna get Kari Willis back, I think, either this week or next week, so that's gonna be big. But I was impressed overall. Let's see what some of the comments you guys said. Matt said the pass interference were only really low lights by the DBs and some tackle attempts on Gronk. But I thought the DBs were pretty good. A couple Sendejo tackle attempts were not good. Yeah, I don't want to put missed tackles in here because there's not really much we could break down on that. Just being like, and then Sendejo's tackling in the run game was awful.
Hey, we were talking about the amount of snaps he played. What was it, a couple of days ago on Twitter? And what was it, 62%?
100%. 100%. He had 62. I think he had 62 snaps. And it was 100%.
I hate that it feels like we just bag on him and everybody does. Like, it's obvious. Like, there has to be something you can do. Whether that's working him less snaps, first and second down only, You know, you telling me there's not a guy that's come to the league the last 3 or 4 years who's a great athlete who maybe just wasn't, you know, ready at the moment that couldn't hop in and do the same thing he's doing?
Yeah. I'm telling all Colts fans, prepare that when Willis comes back, I bet Sendejo still starts.
Oh yeah. Hey, if he's playing this much, there's a good chance that he's solidified.
Yeah, it's
it's rough.
It's rough. It's rough. Last 5 games, they got to win at least 4 to probably solidify themselves. They got games against the Texans, Jags, Raiders that are I'm not gonna say easy wins, but ones they should win.
Yeah, realistic, definitely.
But Patriots and Cardinals are gonna be tough with Sendejo back there.
Yeah, that's not ideal. The Cardinals especially.
We got not having a dominant corner. I think it helps having Rhodes, Rock, and Rodgers split snaps. Rock has had by far more than Rhodes, and then Rodgers a little closer. I think that's a good split. Yeah, I think that's a good split. I wouldn't want to take Rock off the field at all.
No, he's the number one guy.
Yeah, I think he's like these last 2 weeks, again, pass interference call aside, like he's established himself as the number one corner on this team. He's playing so much more confident right now than I've ever seen him play. Like,
yeah, he looks like a dude at corner. Like,
he looks like a dude. Yeah, he looks like the dude. And again, we speculated a couple of weeks ago, being like, oh, they still need that number one guy. But I mean, Rock's playing like one right now, and I really think he's playing good ball.
Yeah, and if you added one, like if you were, to take a guy, it'd probably be unnecessary. I think you definitely go safety before you go corner here. If you're trying to rebuild the defense, but yeah, having Rodgers is earning his way to possibly being a full-blown starter. I think. And then Rhodes, having him in there because he's a vet. It's good to give the young kid a spell every now and then. But I like what I'm seeing out of him. So
yeah, they're definitely come a long way since the first game that we watched this year. The first game, you and I were talking afterwards. Yeah, you and I were talking afterwards. Like, man, it's gonna be a long year with this secondary. But
bro, we didn't get nothing. We weren't getting zone defense. We weren't getting interceptions. Balls were like, unfortunately. No ball protection this week, but we have a bunch of run stops from Kenny Moore.
that was basically our first 4 shows.
It was the Kenny show, man.
It was, man. It was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Kenny show as much as anyone. I'm all cool with it. But I would definitely trade it for Isaiah Rodgers pick or Rockison near pick. I mean, I would trade that for. I'd rather have that be a pick, but we'll take it. Yeah, these young kids have really stepped up and played some really good football.
And they made some great plays, not just good ones. They've made great plays.
They have, and I'm excited to see. The last time we did the Texans breakdown, they did a lot of man coverage, and it's against Davis Mills. Davis Mills, a rookie. Who's probably not ready to play. No. But Tyrod Taylor is a vet, but not really that kind of vet. He's not going to dissect you.
You're not scared. Obviously, they're a lot more dangerous with him in there because, he's going to get Brandon Cooks the ball. Yeah. You stop Brandon Cooks, they're dead in the water. But, people have had a hard time stopping him. So what you don't want to do is, get Tyrod rolling and let Brandon Cooks cook. But, Tyrod's not the scariest quarterback anymore, capable, but, they should be okay.
Yeah. I really want to see some Isaiah Rodgers across from Brandon Cooks in this game. That's what
speed.
I just want to see how he reacts to speed that's also really nuanced.
Yeah, because Cooks is one of them rare ones. He's not just a speed demon. He actually, like you said, does have that nuance. He's a vet. He's crafty. He's a legitimate. He's the most underrated receiver in the NFL.
Oh, he's been for the last 3-4 years.
Has been, and it's crazy because how good he was as a prospect. Ridiculous career at Oregon State, and just now lighting it up for everything. He's like a mercenary now in the NFL. So that would be a great one. Speed on speed. That'd be a great one. Yeah,
for sure. And then before we kind of jump off here, Matt also says Houston only had 190. I'm assuming that means yards passing against Tennessee. I don't. I don't like predicting like blowouts or big wins because
it's the NFL.
It's the NFL, but
you never know.
I really going into this game, Wentz is coming off his best game of the year. The whole dialogue this week has been why Taylor didn't get more carries. So I'm assuming the Colts are going to come out and give everything to Taylor in this game.
It's hilarious. They're like, wait, hold on. He rushed for so many yards in the first quarter. All right, he's done. He's done. Like, dang, the kid.
190 total yards against. Okay, 190 total yards against.
Oh, that's
Tennessee.
Rough.
Yeah, that's rough. Tennessee's defense has some dogs, but that's rough. But yeah, no, I think the Colts are going to come out angry and give the ball to Taylor just to prove, like, yeah, we can do this and stuff. And then I just think this defense is like they gave up 38 to the Bucs this past week, but that was because their offense had 5 turnovers. Their defense played better than a defense that gave up 38 points. So I think this defense is playing probably the best it's played all year. Corners are coming along. Pass rush looks okay, at least, like okay. Yeah. And the offense, was kind of clicking against the Colts offense scored 41 against the Bills, 31 against the Bucs. Those are 2 top 5 defenses.
Well, you look at the offense and the defense. Like, I feel like the offense and the defense they're both one player away from being really good.
Yeah. I agree.
They're probably like a safety and one more receiver away from being a scary team, like a legitimate playoff team. And obviously that'll have to wait, but they're close.
Yeah. Look, aside from the fact that the Colts had a 10-point lead at halftime over the Bucs and the ball to start the second half, if you just look at what we were expecting 2 weeks ago, going into Buffalo and Tampa, they came away 1-1 and lost on like a touchdown with under a minute left to the Bucs.
Yeah, no, you take that.
You can't complain. Yeah, you can't complain.
You take that.
So it's just they got to come out here and continue that level of play against the Texans and come away with hopefully a blowout victory. I'm kind of expecting it, but I don't want to expect it in the NFL.
Yeah.
But looking through a couple more comments here, Matt, the ref in front of Rock pass interference didn't throw the flag. It was the one halfway across the field.
Those are always the worst ones. Those are the worst ones. Because they're like, they were playing, and then this.
Yeah, I hate flags. I hate them. I hate pass interference calls. I hate spot fouls too with it. I get it, but also I like your idea actually with it there.
Just change it. They should be graded. Yeah, there was a grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 PI.
Yeah, so that would be fun. It would be fun to hear them like justify those things and stuff like that. Like, like none of these guys have really played in the NFL or like played football or whatever. Like ever,
they're just refs.
This guy was not making a football play. It's like, dude, he was in trail position there. Like that's a football play. Like that dialogue would be hilarious.
There's levels because like there's definitely intentional flags. And then there's unintentional ones where like you're literally just trying to look up, feet gets tangled, you run into the receiver. I shouldn't be fine. I shouldn't be penalized 40 yards for that.
Yeah, kind of like the old face mask penalties. It's also kind of like the running into versus roughing a kicker type things. Yeah. Like, I think they could do it, but
yeah, you could if you want to. Maybe we'll propose it.
We'll propose it. Yeah, next time we're at the league meetings, we'll propose it.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, we're gonna log off for the night here. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Hopefully, we come back to another really dominant game from this defense against the Texans. Last time they gave 3 points total last time, and I think they had 2 picks or maybe 3 picks. I don't know. We saw a good game last time. Let's do that again. We need more Isaiah Rogers picks. We need the Pro Bowl votes for him.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
All right, guys. Well, we'll catch you next week on another episode of Into the DB Film.